To overcome fear. First, what you can do is to reframe the fear rather than just being in your default. And my default, for example, before reframing the fear, is to think that a situation and the fear are just like strongly tied. They're the same. That's what my mind believes. So when I'm scared of a situation, which happens right now in my life, my mind tends to think, oh shit, I need to avoid that situation in order to not be scared anymore and to feel good. And if I have to face it, I'm gonna feel bad. So it's like a little bit this never-ending cycle. But what you can do is reframe fear in different ways. So the two models I use is like, there's one that says that when we fear something, it's because our body or our mind thinks that we are going to die. And the reason why is that, for example, the reason why we fear such strange things as like rejection, for example, from people, which will not kill us, is because when we were a child and when we were, for example, shouted at by our parents, for us it meant that we were likely to be abandoned by them and starve and die. And so we went through this interpretation of certain events several times, and then it's just like our subconscious mind just like kind of, how do you say, just memorized this as, or just like interpreted this. No, this is not the word I want to use. Our subconscious mind just like took this and built a belief around those experiences, a limiting belief, which says, for example, that rejection is going to kill me or something like that, you know, maybe not necessarily with these words. And that's why today, when you're facing rejection, you know that you're not going to die, but your subconscious mind doesn't know that you're not going to die. And so your body just is in a flight or fight response and just puts itself in a state so that you can run away as if there was a tiger threatening your life, you know. But in fact, there's nothing happening. It's just all in your mind, and it's just not even your conscious mind, mostly your subconscious mind, who thinks that your life is really threatened. And so that's why you fear that. It's because you have a limiting negative belief about that situation. So the situation triggers this belief. Then you also have a more spiritual explanation, which I really like. And it's like everything is love. Everyone is connected to God and to love. And everything is also abundant in this reality, if you believe in abundance. And so when you feel good and you have positive emotions, it's because you have certain beliefs and thoughts that are congruent with who you really are, which is God. Everyone is connected to God, and everyone is like part of this oneness. And when you are thinking, or when you're feeling bad, for example, when you fear something, it's because you have a limiting belief. And so this is called the emotional guidance system. These emotions, you have negative emotions coming up, actually communicating with you and telling you, look, you have a negative belief right now. And so this emotional guidance system tells you whenever you have a thought or a belief that's congruent or not with the true nature of everything, which is love. So you can reframe fear and just use whatever you want for a model, you know. But I think that it's very, for me, it's very useful to know that fear is triggered not by the situation so much, but more that the situation puts light on the limiting beliefs that I have about reality. And so it enables me to know which beliefs I have to work on in order to expand and to change my life, basically, because our beliefs just are really the frames of our lives, you know, the limits. Our mind is the limit. And what you can then do is just like work on a specific beliefs and trying to understand why you have it, to make it conscious, and then to get rid of it. And there are different techniques. I still don't know which one works best for me. There are like a lot. Just like try a lot of different techniques and try to see what works best. But what I found really useful in my life is to see that when I fear something, it's that I have a belief in lack, which is just the contrary of abundance. And when I turn that belief around and I make it a belief in abundance, then I'm less scared. So it's not so much a technique on working on the beliefs, a little bit, but I can give you an example. For example, I'm scared to not succeed at my job. Why? It's because I think that if I don't succeed, I might be fired. And if I'm fired, I might not find another job. But that's a belief in lack, in a lack of jobs. And in a lack, and there's also a lot of other underlying beliefs. But I noticed that when I know that I can just manifest any job with the law of attraction, and that if I found this one, I can find 1,000 even better jobs if I want, then I'm not that scared anymore. So the fear is still there a little bit, but it's a lot less. So that's my own. It's not my technique. It's just like it's what I use and what works best for me for the moment. So I hope this helps you overcoming fear. Fear is actually something positive that shows you which beliefs you have, what you got to work on in order to continue and progress in your life. Thanks for listening.